it's harder to manage blood sugar now. And when hormones are going up and down, our blood sugar is going up and down. So it's less predictable. And again, that feeds that frustration. It feeds it can feed a lot of things and can really feed the emotions in a very, very negative sense. So I understand this. And I'm going to be giving you a few things that I continue to help myself with. And these are things that I have to stay in tune with. And as far as keeping consistent, staying present with what is working, what is possible, and keeping a strong sense of community, and not just a sense of community, but an actual community. That's important, right? We know that we can't do this life with diabetes alone. And but today I want to start with the why. So why is this happening? Why is blood sugar? It's always been hard. It's always been a challenge. But why is it suddenly feel like it's I don't always like to use the term train wreck, but a train wreck. It's like chaos. It's where do I start? Where do I begin to clean up, right? What can I focus on? So why does perimenopause? So this can, again, it could start as early as in our late 30s, early 40s. Why does it throw a wrench in our blood sugar stability? Well, a lot of things. And I mentioned the things that add stress to our life. And as we know, stress does add the inconsistency and the things that can kind of definitely throw us off. But the hormones are changing. We have less estrogen, progesterone, and even testosterone, because when those hormonal markers are out of balance and not as in sync as they once were in our reproductive years, it wreaks havoc on a lot of systems in the body, but especially the metabolic system and the ability for insulin to be utilized, to be optimally utilized. And those shifts, those things that we're feeling, the insulin resistance, the poor sleep, and all of that. And I think it's really important to remind ourselves that you're not failing at blood sugar management. You're simply not, okay? I know you feel like you're doing all the things, but 2 plus 2 is not adding up like it once did. But what's happening is your body it's rewriting the rules, and you're having to react in real time. And that is where it gets a little sticky, and it can get a little frustrating. But there are 3 realistic tools. I always like to come in here with not only explaining what we're experiencing, understanding the why and why our body is responding or not responding accordingly, and ways to, again, understanding the why and ways that we can maybe shift a few things or consider a few things. And again, this is not medical advice. What I do when I come in here is I share what's working for me, what's working for my clients, what we talk about in our group coaching circle, which is an amazing circle of women community. We get together and we have lots of great tools, and you're always invited. Stay tuned to learn more about that. And if you want to jump ahead, you can see some more information right here in the show notes, the Type 1 and Midlife group coaching circle. So you are always welcome to join us. Join a group coaching session. Always have guest speakers in there every month. So be sure to find out more about that and come visit us. So 3 realistic tools. Number 1, monitoring. So keeping track of the blood sugar without micromanaging, okay? So again, it's feedback, it's information. So we've got to maybe take a deep swallow, some deep breaths, work our way through what we're experiencing, what we're seeing on the graphs, on the CGM, or what the meter is telling us if you are using a glucometer. But use the CGM and the pump data to look at and to see those trends, and to not chase perfection, because we are never going to be perfect with our blood sugar. Nobody's perfect with their blood sugar. Even if you don't live with type 1, there is no perfect blood sugar. Ups and downs are normal. Okay, so as hormones are changing, so do your baselines, right? So maybe you've had this goal A1C, maybe your whole life, but you're realizing that all these things that are happening are suddenly changing that. And it is really a perfect time to adjust what we are expecting from ourselves, from our blood sugar. Now is a good time to be doing that. So, because guess what? There will be highs, there will be lows, but don't turn each one of these highs and lows into a self-judgment moment, right? And understanding that things like the stress, the dropping hormones can make this harder to do. It simply does. But to be mindful of your trends and timing your insulin and obviously the goal, timing is everything. So for looking at the trends, we're seeing what's changed. And again, I know throughout the month, especially in perimenopause, when we are fluctuating, we have months that we're having periods, the flow, the different, the timing of them, how we're feeling. Maybe you even have some months that you are more insulin sensitive or more insulin resistant. Again, constant change. There is no real predictability. That is the frustrating part. Absolutely is the most frustrating part. And that is what we have to really just put our arms around and understand and know that you're not going through this alone. It's not just you. This is a fact, and it is going to be part of how we're going to age as our hormones are dropping and managing diabetes. So I'm going to point out the power of the pre-bolus. Okay, this is something I work a lot with my clients about, and it's really just understanding, especially during those times of the month that you're noting and the data that you're receiving is letting you know that you're going to be a little more resistant. So really getting a jump start and getting that insulin on board sooner than later to offset those spikes after a meal, right? So to minimize the roller coaster. So again, the spikes after a meal, maybe misdosing, and then you're having a low after a meal. So again, just trying to have some grace and patience with what this is going to feel like for you. Managing expectations. That's the theme of the show today.